only.
Hello shopaholics. Today we're going to be talking about shopping because I think this is something that a lot of us struggle with or have struggled with in the past. I'm here to give you all of my tips as a recovered shopaholic. So let's go. So before I go into detail about my top tips for how to stop shopping, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my background, where I've come from as a shopaholic, and how not shopping has actually really helped my life and improved my life. So when I was younger, I loved fashion, I loved shopping, I was addicted to it. I would spend all of my money on shopping. I would have summer jobs specifically so that I could spend money in Topshop and Zara and all of that, and I wanted to be a fashion guru, I wanted to be a fashion blogger. That was my dream, and I looked up to these girls. I looked up to models and I looked up to celebrities that were fashionable, and that's all I dreamt of. That's all my focus was on, and I think that's common amongst a lot of young girls. That's kind of where you think your worth lies and where you think you're going to gain confidence and you're going to gain happiness and people are going to pay attention to you and respect you and all of those things. And I think that I kind of fell into that trap, and it kind of got me addicted to shopping. So I would spend, as I said, I would spend all of my money on shopping. I made it a habit. I would spend most weekends, I would go shopping with my friends, and at university even, I would, because I didn't have a lot of money, I would still go shopping, but I'd go charity shopping instead. And I was always kind of trying to reach this level as a shopaholic where I had loads of shoes and coats, and I had all the things that I wanted, but I never reached that. I never was able to get all the things that I wanted, and there was always more that I was chasing after. So when I found minimalism, it changed my life, and I think because my mindset changed, I just slowly stopped shopping. In fact, not even slowly, I just overnight basically stopped shopping, and I focused on decluttering, and it changed my life, and I am no longer a shopaholic. I'm a recovered shopaholic, and it's only brought positive things into my life. It's switched my focus from one thing to a thing that didn't actually bring me a lot of happiness to other things in my life, like being productive and even starting this YouTube channel and being creative and pursuing my dreams and saving up for experiences. And what I started to realise as I kind of took the turn in my life from shopaholic to minimalist is that I was filling a void. I was filling a void with things, with clothes, with household items, and I wasn't focusing on what actually would make me happy. And once I realised that I was filling that void, I decided to fill it with something else, something that actually meant something to me, something that would make me feel good. And things started to change from there. I also realised I didn't want to be a part of the consumerism bubble. I didn't want to be contributing so much because of the environmental impact that fashion has, because of just the wastefulness of shopping and constantly chasing after the new thing. My eyes were opened up to different ideas on how to live my life. I also realised as I started to stop shopping and declutter how high maintenance it was to have all these things. I'm naturally quite a tidy person, but I would always have a messy bedroom. I would always have mess everywhere, and it would really stress me out. It would make me unproductive, and it would make me feel really, really rubbish if my room was in a mess. And now my room stays clean because I don't have all these things anymore. And I found that it was feeling like the things that I owned were owning me rather than me taking control of my life. I know that seems really dramatic, but when you put too much emphasis into things and possessions, that is what takes control of your life, and that's what takes over. And once I sort of stopped focusing on things and items, I started to actually look within and find other things that would make me happy. So without further ado, let's get into my top tips on how to stop shopping. The first tip I have is to realise why you want to stop shopping. So like anything in life, if you want to eat healthier, if you want to work out, if you want to get a job, you need to realise why, because otherwise the motivation behind it is going to trickle out pretty fast. So you want to figure out why you want to stop shopping, write a list, how it's going to help you in your life, how you're going to save money. Maybe there's a trip you want to go on, maybe there's something you're actually saving up for, something that, an item that is actually going to bring you value in your life. Why it's maybe you realizing it's becoming an addiction, and why that's been unhealthy for you, why you've become in debt from it. Just write a list of all the reasons why you know you want to stop shopping and why you know it's going to benefit you. So think about all the positive things that not shopping could bring into your life. So for example, for me, one of my biggest motivators was just money, not having all this money going into shopping. So saving money for a trip and paying off my debt and actually having savings. For the longest time I didn't have savings, so that was the biggest motivator. And also all the things I just said about the environment and consumerism, and just focusing more time and energy on other things that made me happy and would create long lasting happiness, not happiness that is fleeting. So the next thing is to ask yourself if you actually need something. So instead of just going shopping and picking out anything that you like, which is what I used to do, only go shopping when you need something in particular, and maybe think about that for a month or two. Think about if you needed a new pair of leggings, like workout leggings. Look online for things that you like and pick out the one that you really like the most, and do your research and look around, shop around, browse a bit, think on it, and then make the decision to buy it if you actually need it. Don't just go to the shops on your lunch break and mindlessly browse and buy things when you know that you won't need them, or you will maybe in a month's time not end up wearing them. I think that's a huge thing that all of us do, and it's easy to do. So yeah, make sure that you actually need the thing that you're buying. Another tip I have is to get rid of something every single time you bring something into the house. So this really helps with you if you have started to declutter and minimize, to not accumulate things again. So if you buy a new book, then maybe donate one of the books that you already own, or if you buy a new coat, maybe get rid of that old coat that you barely wear anymore. It just, one in, one out, creates a kind of flow where you're decluttering whilst you're also buying things, and it keeps things tidier and more organized, and you're not accumulating and collecting. Another thing that I recommend, because I have been such a sucker for this for so many years, is to really think about if you buy it, if it was more expensive. So I, for so many years, was a sucker for charity shops, and charity shops are wonderful if you need something, but if you just go to them and browse, then you'll find a lot of things that are very cheap that you buy just because they're cheap. So if you're in a charity shop, or if you're in a shop that sells a lot of cheap stuff, really think about, would I buy this if this was like 50 quid? Would I buy this if this was £100? If the answer is no, then you probably don't need it, and it is just a impulse buy. So I know that this tip would have helped me so much so many years ago, because as I've decluttered, the amount of things that I've got rid of that I knew that I bought from charity shops, and that I bought on a whim from Primark or H&M because it was cheap, it's just, I've got rid of so many of those things, it's ridiculous. So yeah, just really ask yourself that question, whether you would buy it if it was more expensive, because deals are what hook people in. If you are like me and you use shopping as a way to cheer yourself up when you're feeling down, as a fun activity to do with friends, as something you look forward to, then try and replace that shopping habit with something that's actually positive in your life. Try and find something like exercise, like a sport that you really enjoy. Try and replace it with activities you can do with your friends, like fun things you can do together. Replace it with something that's positive and it's not going to have any negative impacts on your life, because shopping is going to steal away all your money, and it's not going to make you happy long term. So try and replace that habit, because it can just become a habit that you just do every week. Try and replace that with something that's positive and good in your life. A new hobby, learn a language, take up piano lessons, whatever it is, choose something that is going to really enrich your life and going to make you feel amazing. So my last tip, if you watch my videos, you know I do all the time, and that is to declutter. When you start to declutter, you don't want to bring more things in. So when you experience how great it is to have a home that is clean of clutter, that it doesn't have extra stuff, a wardrobe that you can just go into and you know what's there and you know what you can wear each day because there's not so many things. Once you experience all the positive things that come from decluttering and getting rid of stuff, you don't want to bring more things in. If a weekend comes along and you really have a massive urge to go shopping, don't go shopping. Go and declutter your wardrobe. Clear out your wardrobe, get rid of those shoes you haven't worn in years, go into your kitchen and throw out those gadgets you've never used, and go into your bathroom and pass on the toiletries that you don't use to your friends. I feel more organised, I feel more productive, I feel just so much better. And over time, as you reduce the things that you own, you will slowly begin to realise how much value it adds into your life and how much time it gives for other things. And yeah, you'll be able to live in a space that's cleaner and tidier and better, and your mental clarity will skyrocket. I hope you enjoyed this video. If any of you have any of your shopaholic tips, then leave them in the comments down below so we can all help each other out. I do have a Facebook group called Declutter Your Life, which I would love for you to join. It's just a community where we can all help each other as we declutter and minimize and reduce our shopping habits, and it's a place that you can go to if you're like struggling and to get advice from other people who are in the same boat. So yeah, definitely check that out, it's in the description, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
One step is all I